Here at Helmuth Ford, we are a small town dealership with no hassle and no pressure.
Hi, this is Stacy from Shuttler Insurance Services. Come see me on the east side of the square in Sigourney for all your insurance needs.
Get ready because Tyler Richardson and the High Bank Boys are coming to Sigourney on Saturday, April 26th at Enchanted Events, 20595 255th Street, just south of Sigourney. Order your tickets online by going to enchantedeventsvenue.com or find the Enchanted Events Facebook page for the ticket links. There are 3 different ticket options: general admission, VIP, or reserve. Doors open at 7 and the cash bar and band starts at 8. It's Tyler Richardson and the High Bank Boys, Saturday, April 26th at Enchanted Events, just south of Sigourney. The band 3 Buck Chuck is coming to the Keswick Tavern this Saturday, April 26th from 8 to 11 p.m. No cover charge. Plus, a special treat this Saturday night are the celebrity bartenders. It's the past 4 owners of the Keswick Tavern: Anthony, Max, Shauna, and Jim. It's going to be a great time this Saturday, April 26th from 8 to 11 p.m. 3 Buck Chuck and the celebrity bartenders live at the Keswick Tavern at 117 South Iron Street in Keswick. Experience Oskaloosa presents Ladies Night Out, Friday, April 25th from 4 to 8 p.m. Ladies, if you're ready for an unforgettable night out, join us for an exciting evening of fun, laughter, and amazing prizes. Hop from one location to the next and enter the drawing at each stop when you make a purchase. Participating stores are Paula J's, Maurice's, Hunky Dory, G&G Pronto, Rosso and Wine, Heritage Salon, Brushed by Jude, Shop Gen Miracle, Studio Oski, Untamed Nutrition, LaRue & Co. Boutique, Hunter's Gift and Coffee Cafe, Stepping Stones Eagle's Nest, Stella's Salon and Boutique at their new location, and Mahaska Drug, which closes at 7. It's Ladies Night Out, Friday, April 25th from 4 to 8 p.m. in downtown Oskaloosa. Go to Experience Oskaloosa Events on Facebook for complete information. The Watch Your Opera House in Watch Your, Iowa presents a tribute to Sir Elton John by David Kaye this Saturday, April 26th from 7 to 9 p.m. Tickets for a tribute to Sir Elton John are $30 for adults, $15 for 18 and under. Purchase at the door or online at watchyouroperahouse.org. David Kaye rocks Elton's piano, vocal, and costumes, including sparkling eyeglasses. Popcorn, pop, and water will be served during the show, plus Grant Ranch will be serving food and drinks. Get your tickets for the Elton John tribute featuring David Kaye this Saturday at the Watch Your Opera House.
Good evening. NFL Draft Preview Show. The NFL Draft is here tomorrow night. How long does tomorrow night's show last? I mean, obviously, I'm assuming it starts at 7 o'clock here in Iowa.
Starts at 7 Iowa time. It'll probably go at least a good 4 hours. I forget how long the first round lasts now, but yeah, if you got to plan on at least 10 o'clock or later, probably closer to 11 and possibly midnight, but I forget. It's going to go late though.
Yeah, so we're only going to be, we'd be 2 hours in. We're only going to be to like pick 15, aren't we?
You might be a little ahead of that. It all depends how long everybody takes on the clock, how many trades there are. That'll really determine how fast it goes or not. This is kind of a weird draft, so. Yeah, for your Bears, though, I mean, assuming they stay at 10 or in that 10 range, you shouldn't have to wait too long, maybe 90 minutes, 2 hours. The Bears should have a pick unless they trade down.
The new thing I heard is they're trading up.
Bears are rumored to trade up. So last night I was talking to someone, and I couldn't find it anywhere on the betting sites that I have at least. But I was trying to think of a team that might trade up for Travis Hunter. And they're also looking at Abdul Carter. But the reason I thought that, I was trying to think of teams that would like to use him on both sides of the ball in a unique way. Ben Johnson, we see all the trick plays that he ran with the Lions. I think he would love to have a guy like Travis Hunter, but probably going to have to get to 2 or at least 3 to get him. So the good thing for the Bears is they have a good amount of draft picks. They have some early ones that they could trade to get up to 2 or 3. I don't know if the Browns or the Giants want to get out of those spots, though.
Yeah, we have 3 picks in the top 50, right? I believe. So, I mean, that's good capital to have. Yeah, that's the last thing I saw today. I was reading some stuff as the Bears get to 2 and draft Hunter, which I'd much rather have him than Genty.
Yeah, if they're trading up to 2 or 3, then I would think it's going to be for Hunter or Abdul Carter. There's some people that think they might trade up for Genty. I don't see that, them going to 4 or 5.
I don't think you have to go there for Genty. I mean,
Well,
that's like the old Mitch Trubisky trade. You have to go there to get him.
We're going to get into Genty because Genty's now the favorite to go to Jacksonville at pick number 5.
Right, which I hope he does, and then it's fine. Then the Bears can stay at 10. I mean, I'd be ecstatic if they go to 2, and I don't care if they draft. I mean, I think Hunter's who they want, but Carter's a really good pick. I mean, in your draft, research thing, is Carter the number 1 player?
It's probably Travis. I mean, I keep going back and forth between Carter and Travis Hunter, but the more and more I think about it, I think Travis Hunter has to be the number 1 overall player. If he really can play both ways a significant amount, he doesn't have to do it full time.
Right.
But if he could go, 90% on defense, 50% on offense, or vice versa, something like that, that makes him the best player. And the more and more I think about it, I'd have him number 1. And I'd really like to. I hope he doesn't go to the Browns because I think that'll be kind of boring if he ends up there. Realistically, of the teams that could get him, I'd love to see him in New England. If they could maybe trade up a pick or 2, or if he falls to 4, which probably isn't going to happen, but anything's possible just because Mike Vrabel played with Belichick. Belichick had a tendency to play guys both ways at different positions if they could. So I think Vrabel would be open to it, and then I think Ben Johnson would be open to playing him both ways and in different styles compared to some other coaches that may just want him to stick more to one side of the ball.
Which side should he play more? Which side do you think he's the best at?
Well, you asked me this last week.
I know, and you didn't.
I said corner.
Right.
Corner's where I'd like to see him. But the more people that I listen to kind of like him at receiver better. But I prefer him at corner because, as I told you last week, corners are tougher to find.
Yeah, I 100% agree. But I just wanted to reassure that, and any new listeners, which we do appreciate and thank you. And I've heard that more this week too, is there's more people leaning towards receiver. And I do think a little bit depends on where he goes. I mean, what team? Is it the Giants where they have a number 1 receiver and Neighbors? That type of player where you don't necessarily need him there as much, or you go to the Browns. Who's the Browns' number 1 receiver?
Judy.
Yeah, he's getting.
He's pretty decent. I mean, you can do better than him at a number 1. You'd prefer him be a guy like he's your number 2 receiver, but yeah, for Travis Hunter, though, there are certain teams I'd like to see him go to. Not that he would fall to the Jets, but I think Aaron Glenn would love to have him. Former defensive back. That's not going to happen though, of course, because Travis Hunter he's going to go in the top 4, and if he's somehow sitting there at 5, then you will have a lot of teams trying to get up to that spot. But
Absolutely.
As of right now, he's the massive favorite to go number 2 overall to the Browns or whoever picks number 2.
I mean, is it 100% Ward's going to Tennessee? I mean,
yeah, he's minus whatever it's a crazy number. He's going number 1. Most likely Travis Hunter's going to go 2 to the Browns, and then Abdul Carter 3 to the Giants. I would say those 3 take out number 1, I should say, pick number 2 and pick number 3, Hunter and Abdul Carter. I'm about 90-95% sure. But both those teams don't really have a long-term answer at quarterback though either. So I would I'd leave the door cracked a little for Shedeur Sanders.
And if he does not go to those 2, does he free fall to 20?
Todd McShay doesn't think he'll go to the Saints. A lot of people have him mocked at number 9 to the New Orleans Saints. And then the next spot, like you said, is Pittsburgh at 21.
Right.
I think they're 21. I think the Broncos are 20, whatever it is. But Pittsburgh's probably the favorite. Then, if he does fall out of 9, let's say, look for Pittsburgh maybe to trade up with your Bears. Yep. Cowboys are in there. If the Steelers are scared that, the Saints might take him, one of the teams looking to get out of the first round is Dan Morgan and the Panthers. So the Steelers could trade up to number 8, which would be 1 spot ahead of the Saints, to try to secure Shedeur Sanders. That might be something that could happen there in the top 10.
Just kind of keep going with Shedeur. There have been some reports on assistant coaches, GMs, whatever, worst interview ever. all about himself, entitled. Is that just gameplay? It's like the Tunzel mask thing. I'm sure there's some real point of it, and he can't help but feel a little bit entitled. His dad's Deion Sanders. He's a really good athlete. He's always played for his dad. That's not necessarily his fault. He came from a very blessed background and made the most of it. Everything he's been asked to do, he's done it. Now, maybe the way to do it and everything isn't right, but you put him on the field, he's been pretty good. Now, he's had the best, you just talked about the best player on his team the whole time, and he's got a couple other receivers there in Colorado that are pretty darn good. And he's able to run around and make a little play backyard football in college, and that does not work as well in the NFL.
Yeah, there's a lot of rumors about his interview process. A random GM came out and said that it was the worst interview that he's ever been a part of. I don't know how much I believe it. I mean, when you bring Shedeur Sanders in, you kind of know what you're getting already. This isn't the 70s or 80s where these guys weren't online, social media. We know how Sanders is.
Right. Yeah,
I would think when you bring him in for an interview, you kind of know the player you're getting. Going to be a little bit cocky. He knows the NFL. Obviously, his dad was an all-timer in the league, prime time. So I don't know if I'm buying that as much. I don't know if there's rumors out there that he did terrible in a bunch of different interviews. I have a little bit of a tough time believing that. Maybe did he turn a team off, one or two, just because of his cockiness? Sure, I could believe that, but I don't know that it's getting a little bit weird right now because there are some people thinking that he might fall out of the first round. If he does, obviously, then those rumors probably were true then.
Right. I agree. It's just this time of right before the draft, there's always something that comes up. And I was listening to some guys talk today. Randy Moss had his character issues and dropped to 22. Aaron Rodgers dropped to 20-some. And those are two of the best. I mean, you say what you want about Aaron Rodgers, but he's one of the best quarterbacks ever. Randy Moss, you could argue he's the best receiver ever. Some people can get through it and turn their, make good enough decisions. I mean, I would say Randy Moss probably was not a saint in the NFL, but he was so good that it didn't matter. Aaron Rodgers is very much not a saint. I wouldn't even say maybe he doesn't do things like wrong, but he's just different. But he's been really, really good until the last few years, and Father Time is catching up with him. That's all that is. I don't think it's, he's 40 years old. I mean, that's just the reality of life as a aging quarterback.
Yeah, and if he falls, Shedeur Sanders, that is, it could end up being a good thing. Pittsburgh would probably be a good spot. That's one of the teams that I bet to draft him. I've got the Giants and the Steelers as two of my bets that I've made for teams to pick Shedeur Sanders. But yeah, you mentioned the Laremy Tunsil thing years ago where he had the mask on, getting high or whatever he was doing. That's one of the all-time draft day shockers. I was listening to, I don't know if it was Peter Schrager or Daniel Jeremiah or something. They were talking to someone like a week ago about it, and they were on air live, and they got some information in their ear that said, hey, we're going to cut to a shocking video about Laremy Tunsil. They had no idea what they were going to see. Then all of a sudden he pops up on the screen doing that. So, and then they had to try to talk about it right after. So that's one of those all-time draft day.
And he's a great player.
Yeah, he is.